As we enter the last week of February, Jill and I wish we could have hosted an in-person Black History Month celebration here at the White House. It would have been one of the most meaningful events to start our administration. But we've still been honoring this month in different ways. The show of Black History Month is Americans' history. Black culture is America's culture. And we're in America because of the centuries of struggles and achievements of Black Americans. But we know this month falls after an especially hard year. The pandemic and economic crisis that is devastating Black lives, businesses, and communities. There's a cry for justice 400 years in the making. And while we saw more Americans, more Black Americans vote this past election than ever before, we are just over a month away from the deadly insurrection against the very democracy by extremists and white supremacists. We remain in the battle for the soul of America on an ongoing journey to live up to our founding principles. That all people are created equal and have a right to be treated equally. You all know for much too long we've allowed a narrow, cramped view of our promise to fester. It's just festered and keeps festering. But to become a zero-sum game, that's what's happened. If you succeed, I fail. If I get ahead, you fall behind. If I hold you down, I lift myself up. But that's changing. It's going to change in our administration. We're bringing to our work a seriousness of purpose and urgency. We'll work to dismantle systemic racism across the board by advancing racial equity across the whole of government in healthcare, education, housing, economic mobility, environmental justice, civil rights, and our justice system itself. Protecting the sacred right to vote that remains under attack, and beating this pandemic and economic crisis with equity at the heart of our response. We do so not only because it's the right thing to do, which it is, but because it's a smart thing to do. It benefits everyone. The work ahead won't be easy, but I know we can do it by honoring those who came before us, by following those leading us today. This month, alongside our first Black Vice President, our first Black Secretary of Defense, I walked down the hallway of the Pentagon that long honors the history of Black Americans fighting for this country with honor, dignity, and devotion, Congressional Medal winners. We follow them today. I also visit at the Vaccine Research Center at the National Institute of Health, at the so-called NIH, where brilliant scientists develop COVID-19 vaccines. I met Dr. Kizzy Corbett, she's one of the most influential people in this process. She's a hero. She's saving millions of lives with a vaccine that is safe and that can save your life and the life of your loved ones when it's your turn to take it. We follow her today and honor her. At the COVID-19 memorial, the day before the inauguration, I met Lori Key, a nurse from Detroit who sang a hymn she sings to lift up her fellow healthcare workers, Amazing Grace. And we follow all of our amazing frontline workers today and praise them. And on Inauguration Day, we're all listening to Amanda Gorman deliver a powerful, powerful words about America. Quote, a country that is bruised but whole, benevolent but bold, fierce and free. That's America. Ordinary people doing extraordinary things. And that's who we honor during Black History Month, and each and every day, by commemoration and also by action.
St. Augustine Catholic Church traces its history here in Washington, D.C., to just before the Civil War, when a group of emancipated Black Catholics came together to seek a spiritual home. Without a building, they worshiped in the basement of a segregated white church. And as war burned through the country, the parish built their sanctuary, laying the stones with their own hands and creating a place filled with the grace and dignity they had been denied. The church continued to grow, reaching out to those in our nation's capital who struggled with hunger and homelessness, helping to shape the vibrant culture of this city. Their story reminds us that it is often those who know the pain of injustice who fight the hardest for the future we need, whose faith must be unshakable, holding tight to the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. What else could inspire so many generations to lift every voice and sing those immortal words? Facing the rising sun of our new day begun, let us march on till victory is won. Since St. Augustine started its gospel choir more than 40 years ago, they've performed around the world, from the Apollo Theater in Harlem to St. Peter's Basilica in the Vatican. And like so many others who have been moved by their music, they have come to mean a great deal to me personally. Every Christmas, when Joe was vice president, We celebrated the season with the harmony of their carols at our home in Washington. And on the morning of the inauguration, we began our day worshiping with them as well. As we celebrate Black History Month, we are honored that this choir is our very first performance at the White House, and so grateful to the National Endowment for the Arts for making it possible. We hope that you, too, will be inspired to sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of hope that the present has brought us. And now, the St. Augustine Catholic Church Gospel Choir